Thank you.
See, I was always ran when the mayor ran, and then when I went,
Change that.
yeah, threw me off.
All right, it's a little bit after 7 o'clock here on Tuesday, December the
Six. Sorry. Please.
Is there echo in here? It's a little bit after 6 o'clock here on Tuesday, December 13th, 2022, and we'll call to order this meeting of the Murphysboro City Council. I'd ask that we would all rise. I believe we have Mr. Wickham here. We'll ask him to lead us in invocation, if you wouldn't mind.
Lord, as we come to you once again this evening, Lord, we just thank you for the opportunity we have to serve you. We pray that you be with this body and be with them as they make their decisions and be with our community, Lord. We give you the praise and glory for all things. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Gonzaga, would you please?
Alderman Hughes. Here. Alderman Curry-Witzman. Alderman Campos. Here. Alderman Austin.
Here.
Alderman Brown. Alderman Pittman.
Here.
Alderman Urbis.
Here.
Alderman McComb.
Here.
Alderman Bastian.
Here.
Alderman Gladden. Mayor Stevens.
Here. All right, well, first up this evening on the printed agenda, we have the consideration of minutes, but we have a little bit of a surprise here this evening. Ed O'Donnell thinks he's here for another reason.
That's why he dressed like Santa.
But after I was elected mayor in 2013, we created what's called the Russ Breeding Memorial Community Service Award. And we present it to somebody or persons who have gone above and beyond and who have given of themselves to the community out of a spirit of charity or out of a spirit of selflessness. And as we were thinking about who we ought to present that to this year, it was very obvious, I think very quickly, that the work that you and Jennifer have done at 724 Ministries stands out as a beacon for what many communities wish that they could have. And so I've had this plaque here, which has been signed by all the members of the council, and I'm going to come around in front of the where the council members are seated and read this into the record, and I'd like you to join me if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
You don't have to keep your Santa suit on.
I'm not changing plans.
Yeah, his zipper stuck.
I mean, talk about spirit of giving.
That's
More appropriate attire. But in any case, I will read this into the record. The Russell Breeding Memorial Community Service Award. Whereas the city of Murphysboro wishes to recognize those citizens that are contributing to the betterment of Murphysboro, and whereas the city of Murphysboro is strengthened by the efforts of those whose service is motivated by love for their community, and whereas such efforts were embodied by the late Russell Breeding, who served his country during the Korean conflict and served the city of Murphysboro as a business owner and citizen for over 45 years, and whereas Ed and Jennifer O'Donnell developed a passion for reaching out to those in need after joining a team that served community meals at their church, and whereas they believe that helping hungry people involves more than simply handing them a plate of food, and whereas Ed and Jennifer have created an experience that makes their guests feel appreciated, and whereas in 2014 Ed and Jennifer purchased and helped preserve a historic residence at 724 Walnut Street, and whereas their contributions helping the needy and historic preservation are worthy of being honored, therefore it is with great pleasure and appreciation that the city of Murphysboro presents the Russ Breeding Memorial Community Service Award to Ed and Jennifer O'Donnell for their outstanding dedication and service on this 13th day of December 2022.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Can I say a word? Yeah, the Murphysboro Community Christmas Dinner is going to be December 25th at the KC Hall. Y'all be there, be square, okay? There's information on the website. I was gonna, when I got done with that, I wanted to tell you how proud Jennifer and I are to be part of a community like this. We've been here for 13 years, and this is one of the most giving communities and active communities in outreach that I've ever seen. People come and we gather. We've got. Let me just give you some numbers. We told you about the. I'll be brief, Mayor.
I'll take your time.
Promise I'm not running for office.
You,
Promise you that.
that's the
We
word.
came in 3 or 4 months ago, Jennifer and I, my wife Jennifer, and we talked about what we're doing at 724. This year, we started in January. This year, we've served 3,806 meals. We're running about 100 guests a week, which pretty well maxes out that house. But we have, out of those 100 guests, if we have 100 guests on average, 19 of them are under 18, they're children, 18 of them are my age bracket, they're over 59, they're seniors, 29 of them are minorities. So we're getting a mix of folks, a mix of families. We did a survey last summer to get a sense of where our people fell in the economic strata, where they were, and we found that 72% over a 10-week period, 72% of our guests fell below the federal poverty line, which is the group we were targeting, but 28% of them are other folks that come and join, and we get this community environment, which we get at the community Christmas dinner. Steve shaking his head, he's volunteered there several times. But it brings a lot of folks together in this town. They like to get together, they like to gather, they're comfortable with each other. We've had over 300 people volunteer to cook and serve that meal, almost all of them from Murphysboro. And they're just from all walks of life, but they come back and volunteer again. So all of that, you know, I talk about the numbers, but all of that comes back to the fact that in Murphysboro, Illinois, people care about each other more than they do any place we've ever lived. And they're willing to reach out, and they're willing to serve, and they're willing to dip into their pockets, and none of us make all that much money. This ain't no rich town, we know it, but people will give a little. They do at the food pantry too. They get the same type of support, and we are very proud, and you should be, I'm sure you are, but I've been very taken with this town. I was when we moved here 13 years ago, and it's proved to be a wonderful place. So thank you very much for the recognition. And, you know, come out and eat with us some night. You just might be an average and want to come back and serve a plate or wash your dish. I can do either one for you. So, anyhow, a couple of you, thank you very much. We appreciate that award. We're very grateful for it. Thank you, folks. Mark got the handicap ramp built for us.
Yes, I
years ago.
did, I did. That and Habitat.
Thank you all for being here to help.
Thank you
today
guys
as
for
well.
coming.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Herschel.
All right, with that bit of business taken care of, we will move into our regular items on the agenda this evening. First, we have the consideration of minutes from November the 29th. We'll have consideration of other minutes a little bit later on under budget and finance, but for now we have the minutes from November the 29th. Any questions or amendments to the minutes? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Up next, we have the item consideration of accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll registers. And I'd entertain any questions on the money going out or money coming
It
in.
really scares me. I didn't have any questions at all. I called Donna to see if I was missing something.
Well, anybody got Dan Bratton's number?
Really, I started running by him.
Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That takes us into our regular committee and commission reports. Up first is Budget and Finance chaired by W.J. Pittman.
Thank you, Mayor. We have no items under old business, under new business, which I do need separately, vote on them separately.
I think we can vote on them. They're listed under one item.
Okay, so we have minutes from the December 1st and December 6th Budget and Finance Committee meetings. Anybody have any questions or amendments to the minutes? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is financial statements prepared by Scott. Had some in our packet, and then we got something new tonight, is that correct?
That is correct, sir. Thank you. I'll start with what you had in your packet over the weekend. Sales tax and home rule tax this month. Another great month, 350,000, almost 351,000. Two taxes for the month, which is the highest December we've had in the 7 years of this chart. So, I believe it's safe to say that's the first time this chart has ever surpassed the $4 million mark. So that's not bad, right? So,
Knock on wood.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll take it while we can get it.
That's right.
So, that's how the year ended up there on that. Page 2 is the schedule of operating expenses by department of budget. And through the 11 months, we have spent $5,392,000 in general fund. Now again, this is just general fund. For the same period, we budgeted $6,080,000, and so we are $688,000 under budget. And again, we know the major reason for that is that we haven't spent the other money, and won't until next year. We've been all through that on the budget talks, but and so that's the most notable thing I think on the expense side of the budget. But then also too, we also have exceeded budget on the revenue side. So as you see, we have this surplus of $1,398,000 for the year. Now again, that's going to go down considerably next year, so let's don't get too in love with that number, but it certainly is a good number to almost the end of the year with.
It sure is.
We've been far worse, right?
You're not kidding.
So, and the third report is just the salaries. It's a 3-page report. I'll just kind of skip to the end. So we did have a 3 payroll month, and we also had holiday pay. So if you look at just the salary citywide, we took it on the chin in November, 152,000 over budget, but again, our budgeting is based, assuming every month's treated equally, so we're gonna have those mismatches on this particular month. The real thing to keep in mind is that year to date, we still are clean to a $12,389, lack of a better word, surplus, of budget over actual, going into the last month of the year. So, hopefully we will end the year right on target. A lot of factors can change that for us, and have changed that throughout the years. But again, like I've said many times, we don't want to go into the year already being behind. So we do have still a little bit of cushion right there built in. So that's a good thing. And the last 2 reports I'm going to bring, which is what I brought tonight. I haven't done this for several months. I just wanted to kind of give you a flavor of where we are with our borrowing. So I'll do general fund first. So as you can see, the dump truck loan is now paid off, so that is our dump truck. And then the other 3 items, the education equipment, we did that 2 years ago. We borrowed $48,000. We're down to $26,781, 32 cents ago. And then the pickup truck in the street department and the digital radio equipment were both purchased this year. You see the beginning balance of the $33,000 for the truck, $65,000 for the equipment, and we've only had like 1 payment on each of those. So the current balance is very close to the starting point there, with basically almost 5 years to go on those. So we have $124,063 in current loans in just the general fund. The water sewer, I purposely just kind of waited to do this until now, so we would have the second of the 2 EPA loans done for the year, so you can see the drop. So after making the November payment, the Walnut Street water line is down to $936,000 and change. About 12 more years to go on that, 24 semi-annual payments. And it's kind of a moral victory, I think, to get below the $11 million mark on the water.
Yeah.
The sewer plant. It's been, 11 million for a while, and now we're safely below that, so that's going in the right direction. A few more years we have on top of that versus the other one. That was about 13 and a half more years to go, so that was all paid for. And the last 3 years, we have purchased trucks to upgrade the fleet in the water sewer department, and you see the progress of those. The one we did in 2020, down to 19,000 and change, and the as well as the one in 21 is down there too. It didn't start off as much money as the first one, that's why it's kind of close to the same balance. And then the last one was purchased at the same time as we did the other truck on general fund, and the digital radio equipment, those were all done kind of at the same time, and so it just had one payment. So we have total borrowing at this point of $11,753,718 in water sewer. So, we've come a long way on that too. But anyway, that's the reports I have. So, any questions on those?
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Next item on the new business is consideration of increasing the video game terminal fee, and we discussed this at the last budget meeting. Possible increase of current one is $25 to $100 per terminal is what we discussed. $150 that we suggested. So, I mean, is there, are we just voting on whether, we'll change that ordinance? Like, I mean, how does that work?
I've got an ordinance prepared that will do that.
Okay, so we're ready to go on that.
Those are
We
not
voted?
due, I think, until like May, is that correct? February or May?
All right.
May 1st,
Does
yeah.
anybody have any thoughts on that? I mean, I know not everybody was here for that last budget meeting. Mike, I mean, are you aware that we discussed that?
I was, yeah. Oh, I've been brought up to
Okay.
speed, I want to say.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm familiar with
Then I entertain a motion to raise that fee to
I would make that
$150 per
motion.
terminal.
Okay.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Next one is consideration of changing the minimum gallons for water bills. And that was, as discussed at the budget meeting too, lowering that from 5,000 to 4,000, correct?
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions or comments in regards to that? And I would entertain a motion to change the minimum gallons to 4,000 from 5,000.
So moved.
The motion, second?
yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I do have an ordinance that does that. The wording of the ordinance itself, the amendment will be that it's a change from 2,500 to 2,000. We have
Oh, because
further
it's two
provision
bill-
that
it's 2
it's
months.
bi-monthly bill,
Right.
which equates to those amounts.
So do we need to change the way that we?
No,
vote on that?
it would just, the change will be the 2,000 reduced, or
2,500.
2,500 reduced to 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a different section that says billing is bi-monthly, which equates to
Same
5,000.
amount, okay.
But the 5,000 now, I mean,
Yes.
the 5,000 now is every
But
2
that's
months.
bi-monthly.
Every 2
Yeah.
months.
Okay, yes.
It's gonna be bi-monthly per person.
Just that clarification for the way the ordinance itself will be.
Okay. All right. Next item is consideration of placing the proposed fiscal year 2023 budget on display. I mean,
Do we need discussion? I mean, we've
we
had
will have, I
meetings.
mean, if we have discussion in executive session, those changes can be amended before we display it correctly.
But we can
Right.
still
It
vote
could
to
be.
display it?
Yes, and there will have to be a public hearing,
Yes.
which the
Yes.
timing will work, that the public hearing can be before the December 27th meeting at 5:45.
Okay.
We'll need to do that publication, we'll need to send it to the Southern Illinois.
Okay. Then I'd entertain a motion to place that proposed budget on display.
So moved.
We have a motion
I'll second that motion.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Is there any public comment under budget and finance? Hearing none, we can move on to budget and finance.
Thank you, WJ. That takes us to Building and Grounds, chaired by Mr. John Urban. John?
Thank you, Mayor. We have no old business. Under business, we have 2 items. First is consideration of donation of 513 North 16th Street
to Habitat for Humanity.
I did receive an email from Charlie Eisert earlier today, and it just simply said that he is in favor of the property at 513 North 16th Street going to Habitat for Humanity, and he is, as we all are, thankful for them taking over some of these lots where dilapidated houses have been torn down and then building new homes on them. Comment on the potential takeover of the property, or?
We have a family. We're ready to start building as soon as the weather breaks. Johnny Logan's gonna build the walls and we'll get it surveyed and go from there.
And could you just state your name for the
Jim
record?
Messler.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to make sure, Gina.
One thing I wanted to clarify, I believe the proper name for the organization is Partnerships for Affordable Homes.
That's, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the motion would need to be to donate the property to Partnerships for Affordable Homes.
Versus Habitat,
Okay.
I
correct?
make that motion.
Motion for that?
I'll second it.
Motion second, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? No? All right, that passes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do, Jim.
Next, we have
And you
consideration
too,
of
Jerry.
cemetery contract renewal.
See you, Jerry.
Contracts in our packet.
The contract is the same agreement as the agreement that we have been operating under in previous years. I don't believe there's any changes to the price or the terms.
All right, is there,
I think we was all pretty pleased with
I think
Yeah.
so
the
too.
group that
Yeah.
did it at the end of the year last year,
Yes,
wasn't we?
I think so.
I think there was one time whenever City Cemetery on 14th Street got a little bit behind, and I think they were just experiencing some staffing issues, but other than that, they,
It seems to be really
I think they've done a
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise,
Yeah.
pleasant experience.
Thank you.
Good, good.
Is there a motion to accept this
I'll make that.
contract? Second? Motion second, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? No? Thank you, that passes. All right, I guess part of that would be give the authority for the mayor to sign the contract. Is there any
Believe so.
any public comment on building and grounds? Thank you, we'll move on.
All right, that takes the community relations chaired by Mr. Mike Off. Mike?
Mayor, thank you. We have no old business and we have no new business this month, so is there any public comment regarding community relations? And if not, we can move out, Mayor,
All right.
into public improvement.
Thank you. And that does take us to public improvement chaired by Mr. Mike Bastian. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. We have nothing listed under old business and nothing listed under new business unless we have any public comment. With that being said, we can close public improvement and move into public works, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Bastian. We'll go to Mr. McComb, Chair of Public Works.
You know, under old business, we got the consideration of quotes for the permanent salt structure. Did Darren come up with anything on that to you yet?
I did speak with Darren today, and he asked that we just table that for one more meeting, as he was still trying to get some more information together.
Yeah, I knew he was still researching it. I talked to him just a little bit today. Then we'll put this on the next agenda, kinda. Under news business, don't have anything, but I was gonna tell you, I checked on the track hole today to tear down the houses. I'll know more by the next meeting. The guy wasn't there. They do rent it to own. So we'll just, I want Darren to look at it and
What house is
and
that?
Tim to look at it too, because it would work for both their departments and the sewer plant if we end up getting it. So he's supposed to let me know what the price is on it, how deep it'll dig, and if it'll dig 18 to 20 feet, that would cure us calling anybody else and again on to patch our sewer lines where we have an open in the street. And that they'll be able to, it is a rubber track, so you can drive it down the street without tearing up the street, or you can turn it in the street. the big ones, when they turn it in the street, they just uproot the street, but I'll have more on it for the next meeting too. We'll check it into it, just see what it is. But you
Okay.
can buy it rent-owned.
Well, there may be some savings there as opposed to contract hiring the home demos, so.
Well, I talked to Charlie today, and he said if they got that, he probably wouldn't have a demo fund next year. You could put that money into this equipment because he won't be putting it out for bid.
Right.
Yeah,
know.
that's great.
And we have to look at the ways to how we're gonna do it if we get it with the material and stuff from the houses, but I got something figured out on that too. I'll bring it up some other time. And there's nothing else under new business. Any public comment on building and grounds or public work? Here now, we can move on there.
Thank you, Gary. That takes me to public safety, chaired by Russell Brown. Yes, Ms.
I
Hughes?
had that put on there, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't have any old
Yeah.
business, so under new business, we have consideration of Sunday-only parking on Spruce Street from 15th to 16th.
The St. Peter's Church has contacted me because it's in my ward, and they used to have a Sunday parking right there. And somehow the signs are gone now. I don't recall us doing an ordinance to take those down, but they said that somehow they came down after Crawshaw's built the parking lot there across from the drive-through at the bank and across from Crawshaw's, because they are using that. But they have several members, at least two, that have a very difficult time walking from there to the church. Now, how they get up the steps, I don't know, but that's just another story. But they would like to have a couple places at least on Sunday morning there for handicap, and it can be for church parking or for handicap parking. They aren't being very picky about what, but they need one or two right there in front of the church on Spruce between 15th and 16th. Or 16th, yeah, 15th and 16th. Anyway, but I don't remember us ever taking those down. But they're not there anymore.
But they were there.
They were there at one time,
Yep.
yes, absolutely.
Yep.
On the north side?
On the north side, yes, right in
Yeah.
front of the church,
Yeah, it was-
heading west.
And they were handicap parking.
Yeah, I
I
see,
think
I
so.
think it said from 7 to 11 on Sunday morning
Yes.
only or something like that. I can't remember for sure, but they're not picky about whether it says handicap or whether they just have a couple there that the handicap people can
I
use.
thought it was no parking.
Except Sunday
that
between,
On the north side, it was no parking that entire block, I thought, yeah, so,
but they had an exception for Sunday morning.
right.
Yeah,
so.
and it was like from 7 to 11 or something like that. But they would like those signs back or a handicap parking area there, and I understand that.
It seems to me that the Sunday parking would be the better option of the two.
And that's fine with, I don't think they don't care either way, as long as they have
Can we
something.
see if we already have that in
I believe it already is. I meant to copy, if we go to the ordinance book, we have the different schedules where they've been established. And it does note on the north side that it's no parking except Sunday.
But there's not a
On this-
sign there anymore.
So I think it's already established.
So
by our
if that's
code
already established,
on
we could
that
just put our
side.
sign back up.
So it wouldn't matter putting up the signs up on the south, let me see, on the south side.
They're not asking for south whatsoever.
Just the north.
They can park on this, the residents do park on that south side, I
On
do
the
know
south side,
that.
I believe it just shows no parking from 15th to the mid-block.
It could, because it's on a curve.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that the S break?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I believe is already, yeah, I didn't copy that, I meant to, so I had it handy, but I believe.
I don't
it's,
recall us ever
Yeah, I don't
voting to take it down.
think so.
I
I
don't
don't,
think so.
I
either.
think
I don't
we-
see maybe on the weekends it's different, but I don't know that I've ever seen cars parked on that north side of that block.
The only
As
time
long
is
as
on Sunday.
they do.
Whenever they have
Otherwise,
church.
I don't, no.
Right, honestly, I've never seen any
Yep.
cars parked on that.
From where the curve starts, you know, when you start going east
Right.
to west.
Past
When
that
it changes
apartment
to South
And
Street.
then they park on the south side.
Yeah.
But as far as any signs on the other side, that, I mean, I can't remember if I ever saw any there and they came down.
I know we used to
the
have
parking
them.
lot. But the parking lot's quite a ways away from the church.
Yes.
There's a residence in between. them.
Yes, there is.
But it doesn't, it's right where it goes on the straightaway where they probably want those, and it don't look like it would be a problem for it being very much on that curve before you get to the straightaway.
Well, Leandra, can you just make a work order to have Darren?
Unless you find that we did take it down, and then we'll have to have what, a ordinance
It
of
would
some
be an
sort.
ordinance putting back up. I don't think everyone's ever been done taking
I
it down.
didn't
probably
remember us
wrong.
doing it, but, okay.
We'll look it up tomorrow.
That's
phone
good.
book and get it ready
Thank
for
you.
them.
I'll call them and
Yeah.
tell them. They also have a new minister there. I'm so embarrassed I've forgotten her name. She is very, very nice. She also does ministry at the prison, through the prison system. And maybe Ina. I can't remember.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
live in, she lives in Goreville. Very, very nice lady, by the way. I met her at the Ministerial Alliance dinner the other day, and that's really when she asked me about it.
Well, I think we're going to be able to accommodate that request.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor.
Is there any, Ms. Campos?
Sorry, I had to come. I was driving through Walgreens, and I think the liquor store that is across from Walgreens on Walnut Street is one roll or roll up or something like that. Okay. Roll them up? Yeah. There is a series of steps going down to the residence down. Okay, the rails that goes into those steps are completely smashed. I don't know if it was a car accident. I don't know if it's age, but it is a safety issue.
Okay.
That's my word, too.
Has there
Is your
been
word?
a vehicle accident in that area we can
Not that
call?
I'm aware of.
But
I want to just look at it and
I noticed
see.
it dust last week, and it does look like somebody's hit it.
it looks,
It's kind of bent in and out.
Mhm.
It's not good.
I hadn't even noticed that.
Where's that at, Tim?
I think those are IDOT
It's
steps.
the stairs that go up Third Street, just next to where Tweedy's gas station used to be.
Where
That
the
goes
smoke
down-
shop is.
Goes down the hill right behind it. It's a real steep deck, yeah.
Can a car get there?
And that's what it looks like, somebody may have come out of the parking lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Took it a little wide,
Yeah, okay.
And they went back, but that's,
last call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hurry up and get in there.
Yeah.
and maybe the one shop or the roll up, the whatever, the cigar shop,
There's a smoke shop.
all that.
If you want, I could run down there tomorrow and get a better look at it. We may be able to back or something, try to straighten it out.
And they might even have a video.
Who
If
said that
have
they thought
cameras.
it was an IDOT step? Did you say that, Tim?
I think it is.
I think they are. I think I remember something several years ago.
I remember us wanting to do something with them several years ago too, but I can't remember. Well, if we can fix it, IDOT won't have any complaint about that,
I
will
wouldn't
they?
imagine, but I still will take a look at it.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all. Wasn't bad.
Thank you, Ms. Campos. If there's no other comment under public safety, we'll go to personnel, chaired by Ms. Barber. Barb.
Thank you, Mayor. Right now, we don't have any old business. We will be in need of a executive session to discuss some personnel things. And right now, there's no old, no new public comment on personnel. We will go into more detail in executive session on personnel.
Very good. Come out of personnel then, if there's no public comment on personnel, and go to the mayor's report. I have placed on here a request, if it is all right with the council, to move the January meetings to the 17th and 31st. We do have 5 Tuesdays. This is just a personal request on my part. I have a cousin in town who I haven't seen for many, many years, and he's going to be in on one day, and it's going to be the 24th of January. And so I would like to be able to spend some time with him if possible. If we didn't have 5 Tuesdays, I wouldn't ask to move it, but that was my request.
Do we have to have a motion for that?
I mean, I would like one.
I would make that motion.
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I want birthday cake on the 17th.
Okay, you'll get it.
The next meeting is gonna be on Valentine's Day, so sorry for all the ruined dates.
That takes us to council member request. I'll start with Ms. Hughes.
I don't have any requests, really. I'd like to wish everyone a very happy holiday and stay safe and remember the reason for the season. I can't tell you enough how proud I am of our city employees, and I think that we don't often enough, and at the end of the year is a good time to do it, I guess, but we don't often enough praise them, and I do thank you all for what you do. Also, Sandra put together a beautiful city Christmas party last Friday, and I don't know, we really enjoyed it. I didn't talk to anybody that was mean about it or anything, but thank you, Sandra. It was very, very nice to have all the employees that could come get together. Thank you. That's really all I have.
Thank you, Bart. Appreciate that. Ms. Campos?
Echo her feelings really, because it's the truth, and on the bless that we have as a Murphysboro, to have such a caring and dedicated staff. It is a blessing.
We do.
And it's a reason of also of us that sit over here, at least personally, to be proud to be a member of this council. And but I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
And that's what it is. It's nothing wrong saying Christmas, but Merry Christmas.
That's right.
You don't like it, I
We know the
apologize.
reason.
All right, Mr. Austin?
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay. Clerk Hunziker? Mr. Pittman?
Nothing.
Mr. Urbis?
Nothing.
All right, Mr. Bastian?
Nothing, Mayor.
All right, we'll go to department head request. Attorney Blake?
Nothing.
Ms. Ripley? Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thank you.
Chief McBride? Chief Ellemeyer?
Nothing.
Man Waring?
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Volley? Mr. Sheffer?
Nothing, Mayor.
Mr. Lee?
The Business Highway 13 water main replacement that we started, I don't remember exactly what month it was, but the 2,700-foot water main replacement, replacing a 6-inch cast with an 8-inch plastic. 2,700 feet total, we're about 40 feet shy of completion on that, and then we have to do a tie-in and install one hydrant. And that project is completed. My goal is to have it done before.
Thank you, and thank you to your crew for an efficient job, and that's going to, in the end, improve an area where we have had never-ending boil orders and leaks and issues. So I think that it was money well spent and will be a big improvement. Thank you. Mr. Gladson? Ms. Bryant? Our other guests?
Come on, Debbie, we want to hear from you.
Fair enough. All right, well, we'll take a 5-minute recess, and then we'll come back and have an executive session.
Did you get the travel?